Hello everyone, welcome to Advanced Knowledge Systems and a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy, which is one of the premier institutions in India, and it offers examination coaching for UPSC CSC, State Public Service Commission, SSC Combined Graduate Level and CLAT examination. And about me, I'm Sandeep Bhushan Tumala, and my credentials are: I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I take up international relations and internal security and the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session is in regards to the DNA of the Hindu, that is today, that is of 19th of February 2021. And throughout my session, I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the Hindu newspaper, wherein we will identify the factual, analytical and conceptual questions for the UPSC prelims perspective. And while you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing for the mains examination, your answers for mains would be precise and concise, and thereby you will score higher marks in the mains examination. So this session at AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis will certainly help you to crack both prelims and mains of 2021. And before we get into the DNA of the newspaper, we will be focusing at the quote of the day, and the quote of the day says that people begin to become successful the minute they decide to be. So you need to decide that you are successful, so certainly you will be a successful person. And now we'll get into the DNA of the newspaper, and the news here is that we will be focusing at the keyword, that is the rule of law. And India and US at the quadrilateral meet have called for the rule of law in Myanmar, because we have seen in Myanmar there is a military rule and there is a necessity for the restoring of democracy. And in turn, in the quadrilateral meet, India has joined Australia, Japan and United States for a ministerial meeting, and they have discussed about the key issues which have included even in regards to the rule of law and restoring democracy in Myanmar. And both the External Affairs Ministry from India, S. Jaishankar, and US Secretary of State Antony J. Blinken have spoken about on the ministerial meeting, on the sidelines of the ministerial meeting. They have spoken about the military takeover in Myanmar, and they have also reiterated the democratic values which are essential for the region. Here what is important is they are not just focusing on Myanmar, but the focus in regards to the quadrilateral meeting, that is in regards to the region itself. So this is very crucial, that how the quadrilateral countries or quad countries, India, Australia, Japan and United States, are not just worried about the military takeover in Myanmar and restoring democracy in Myanmar, but they are certainly worried about reiterated democratic values for the region itself. And both India and US have discussed the contemporary challenges, especially which are impacting the COVID-19, and also they have discussed the issues which were in regards to the Indo-Pacific region. So when we are talking about not only Myanmar but also in regards to the region, it is specifically in regards to the Indo-Pacific region, wherein the democratic values are necessary in the Indo-Pacific region. And both the countries have said that there is a positive agenda from both the countries, and both the countries share commitment to the global good. So there is a necessity that the restoring of democracy in Myanmar, and also in regards to the reiterating democratic values for the region, that is in the Indo-Pacific region. And also both the countries have the importance of highlighting the shared commitment to global good. And India in turn has emphasized in the meeting, ministerial meeting in the quadrilateral, that there is a necessity that the commitment to upholding rules-based international order. This is a keyword which India has focused in the quadrilateral meeting, that the necessity of rules-based international order has to be upheld, and peaceful and resolution of disputes have to be taken into consideration, and there is a need for the democratic transition. So these are the three keywords which have been emphasized or expressed by India, that is the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar in the ministerial meet. And US has also highlighted the urgent need to restore the democratically elected government in Burma, that is in Myanmar, and they have also highlighted the priority of strengthening the democratic resilience in the broader region. That is, US is certainly focusing on Indo-Pacific region. Yes, no doubt India is also worried about the Indo-Pacific region, but in specific, US is really worried about the strengthening democratic resilience and also reiterating democratic values in the broader region, that is in the Indo-Pacific region. Here the keywords what we need to focus is democratically elected government has to be restored, which is being highlighted by US, and also strengthening of the democratic resilience in the Indo-Pacific region, as we have also spoken about the reiterating of democratic values in the region. Here this is in regards to the international relations, how India has focused in regards to the rule of law has to be restored back in Myanmar. And now we will be looking at the another news, which is in regards to the pollution or air pollution, and the air pollution has killed 54,000 people in Delhi, and this is as per the analysis which is taken up by an organization called as Greenpeace Southeast Asia. And the Greenpeace Southeast Asia has analyzed the air pollution and the cost of economy and the health. Here the Greenpeace Southeast Asia has focused about the air pollution and the health and the economy of the country. So there are three keywords which we need to focus from the report of the Greenpeace Southeast Asia, which they have analyzed that air pollution is directly linked to the health and air pollution is directly linked to the economy of the country, and in turn they have analyzed the cost to the economy due to the air pollution. And air pollutions in India, that is especially in the Delhi, has caused 54,000 lives in the year 2020. And there are 6 Indian cities which have been taken into consideration and which are featuring in the global analysis of the Greenpeace Southeast Asia, and that is Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Chennai, Hyderabad and Lucknow are the 4 Indian cities which are featured in the global analysis. And globally there are cities which have been taken into consideration, that are Delhi, Mexico City, Sao Paulo, Shanghai and Tokyo. And approximately from these 5 most populous cities in the world globally, there are 1,60,000 deaths which have been attributed only for the air pollution, that is in regards to the particulate matter 2.5 air pollution globally. If you look at the Indian cities, it is Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Chennai and Hyderabad along with Lucknow. But globally the most populous cities in the world, that is Delhi, Mexico City, Sao Paulo, Shanghai and Tokyo, have attributed to 1,60,000 deaths because of the air pollution, that is the particulate matter 2.5. And according to this report, there is a online portal or online tool which is called as Cost Estimator, and this online tool, that is Cost Estimator, will estimate the real-time health impact and the economic cost from the air pollution, that is from the particulate matter 2.5 in the major world cities. And what is the crucial keyword here is the Cost Estimator, which is the online tool, and this is as per the report. And the online tool, which is the Cost Estimator, is deployed in collaboration between Greenpeace Southeast Asia and IQ Air and the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air. This tool, that is online tool, is deployed in collaboration with 3, that is Greenpeace Southeast Asia, IQ Air and then CREA, that is Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air. And if you focus again in regards to the IQ Air, which is part of the collaboration for the online tool, that is Cost Estimator, there is a database, that is IQ Air. You have a database and there are certain algorithms which are part of the database which estimates the real-term health impact and the economic cost because of the air pollution. And these algorithms are applied scientific, and this will be focusing the scientific risk models, and the scientific risk models would be based in combination with pollution and in regards to the public health data, so that it will estimate the algorithms in the IQ age data in a scientific risk models will estimate the health and economic cost of air pollution exposure. And the report has noted that because of the impact of health and economic cost because from the air pollution, that is particulate matter of 2.5, the report says that there is a need of the hour, and the need of the hour is to rapidly scale up renewable energy and to bring end to fossil fuel emissions and to boost sustainable transport systems. So these are the measures which the report, that is the Greenpeace Southeast Asia, has put forth to make sure that there would be less health impact and economic cost because or from the particulate matter 2.5, that is from the air pollution. So we need to scale up renewable energy, and then we need to boost the sustainable transport system, and we need to end the fossil fuel emission. And this can be taken as measures, part of your measures for your mains examinations, how we can restrict the impact, larger impact on health and economic cost from the or by the air pollution. And if you look at the metropolitan cities or the cities in India, that is Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Chennai and Lucknow. So you have the red, which is the deaths it is estimating, and the blue is the estimated cost, that is in regards to the economy, how it is impacting the economy. So the larger one, if you look at it, is Delhi, 58,895 crores of economic cost is the burden because of the air pollution, and the deaths are 54,000. So likewise, the least is in Lucknow with 6,700 deaths, and the economic cost is 8,000 crore rupees. And another news which we would be looking at is tree cities of the world. This is a keyword, trees or tree cities of the world, and this is been, the title has been bestowed, the tree cities of the world, by Arbor Day Foundation and Food and Agriculture Organization. And Arbor Day Foundation and Food and Agriculture Organization has bestowed the title, that is Tree Cities of the World, to Hyderabad, or Hyderabad has won a green contest among the cities in India, and it has emerged as one of the tree cities of the world. And Hyderabad has been selected for its commitment for growing and maintaining urban forestry. Here the focus is that Hyderabad has been selected as won a green contest in regards to the tree cities of the world because it is having, or it is in commitment to growing and maintaining urban forestry. Urban forestry is the keyword or the emphasis which is being taken into consideration by Arbor Day Foundation, which is an NGO, non-profit organization, and the Food and Agriculture Organization, which is an organization of United Nations. Both have considered Hyderabad as the tree cities of the world because Hyderabad is focusing on the growing and maintaining of urban forestry. Please do understand, here the keyword is urban forestry. And the recognition of Hyderabad being one as the tree cities of the world is the city which joins the other 120 cities across 23 countries, and which includes US, UK, Canada and Australia. So therefore, out of 120 cities across 23 countries, Hyderabad has won, and it is won a green contest among cities in India. And the department which has been committed for growing and maintenance of the urban forestry in Telangana, or especially in regards to the Hyderabad, is the Municipal Administration and Urban Development Department, has been crucial, and it has actually considered, or it has applied online submission on January 31st 2021, and it has applied online because the state government has gone ahead with various programs such as Harita Haram program, and another program is Urban Forest Parks Plan. So because of these two programs which the government has taken up, the Municipal Administration and Urban Development Department of Telangana has applied online this year for the Trees Cities of the World contest, and the city was evaluated on 5 metrics. Again, this is crucial because which among the following are incorrect in regards to the 5 metrics taken up for the Tree Cities of the World. It is evaluated on established responsibility because of setting the rules, and then to know what you have and allocate the resources and to celebrate the achievements. And the Trees of the Cities of the World is being taken up, or it is a program by the Arbor Day Foundation and the Food and Agriculture Organization, which is an United Nations body. So here we have a couple of prelims UPSC perspective and also current affairs. That is, the keyword is Tree Cities of the World, Arbor Day Foundation, Food and Agriculture Organization, and growing and maintaining urban forestry is a keyword. And the 5 metrics which have been evaluated for the Tree Cities of the World. And there is another news which talks about having a special visa scheme. And this special visa scheme for medical staff has been mooted or has been encouraged by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi while he was attending a virtual workshop on COVID-19 management. So while he was working or he was attending on the workshop of COVID-19 management, which is in regards to the exchange of good practices in tackling pandemic and the way forward. This was the meeting or the workshop, exchange of good practices in tackling pandemic and the way forward, with 9 neighboring countries of India. And India is hosting this virtual workshop that is on COVID-19 management, and this is at the secretary level virtual meeting, and it is chaired by the Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan. And the 9 countries which have been part of the virtual workshop or virtual meeting workshop in regards to the COVID-19 management, exchange of good practices in tackling pandemic and the way forward. The 9 countries are Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, the Maldives, Mauritius, Nepal, Pakistan, Seychelles and Sri Lanka are the 9 neighboring countries which India has hosted, and India has chaired the secretary level COVID-19 management meet. And in that meet, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has suggested, and we will focus at what our Prime Minister has suggested in the secretary level meet. He has suggested that there has to be a special visa scheme. Why? That is for doctors and nurses, so that they can travel quickly during or when there is an health emergencies, and when there is a request from the receiving country, the doctors and nurses can travel quickly, and this can be done by creating a special visa scheme. So one of the suggestions made by our Prime Minister is creating a special visa scheme, and he has also suggested the civil aviation ministries of the 9 countries or the 9 neighboring countries of India should coordinate a regional air ambulance agreement. So another agreement which the Prime Minister has suggested, or the second one, is coordinating a regional air ambulance agreement for contingency. And he has also suggested that all the 9 countries should come together to create a regional platform. So this is the third suggestion which our Prime Minister has put forth, so that while creating a regional platform, it would be necessary or it would help for collating, compiling and studying the data for or in regards to the effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccine among the entire population of the 9 neighboring countries, that is Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, the Maldives, Mauritius, Nepal, Pakistan, the Seychelles and Sri Lanka. So part of the suggestions are very important that you can use this suggestion for the mains examination, how it would be helping to manage or to have the entire COVID-19 management, that is exchange of good practices in tackling pandemic. Not only that, but also the way forward. Special visa scheme, regional air ambulances, and then creating a regional platform. These are the key suggestions made by our Prime Minister, and you can use it for the mains answer writing also. And there is a suggestion made by the industry association to the government that the CII, that is Confederation of Indian Industries, would wish the government to allow the private sector health providers. Here the keyword is allowing the private sector health providers in administering the vaccine, and in turn the government should also allow the private sector health providers businesses so that they can inoculate their employees and communities who are in the operation. Here the main importance is the Confederation of Indian Industries are wanting not only government be part of administering the vaccine in India, but let government also allow the private sector health providers in administering the vaccine, because there are two reasons. That is that till now there is only 0.06% of the India's population is vaccinated, but by June the target is 5% of the Indian population should be vaccinated. So we need to reach the target, one point or one consideration, and the other one is the expiry of the vaccine. Taking into consideration of the target of vaccinating the Indian population of 5% and the expiry of the vaccine, there is a necessity what the CII feels, and it is urging the government to allow the private sector health providers. So here we are looking at the government plus private. That is what the CII is urging the government to allow the private sector health providers. And CII is worried about the India's vaccine stockpile of expiring, and before it expires itself, CII want the COVID-19 vaccine rollout to be ramped up quickly so that the vaccine stockpile would not be expired. And while the government allows the private sector health providers to administer vaccine, then there is a possibility that both government and the private sector health providers can vaccinate 100 million people and can allow the center to reach the identified target priority groups quicker, and this would be critical to get the workforce back to the work and to get the economy back on track. So the 2-1 are the target, and then make sure that expiry will not be taken up, or expiry, before the expiry itself the vaccine rollout can be ramped up quickly. And the another one is the workforce to be brought back to work as quick as possible, and the fourth one is to get back the economy back on track. So these are the 4 keywords or the 4 advantage why the CII is urging the government to allow the private sector health providers. And you as a civil servant aspirant as also can take this consideration, that is 4 points why or the necessity of the private sector health providers in administering vaccine is necessary at this moment, so that we can reach the target and then the vaccine rollout can be ramped up quickly before the expiry of the vaccine stockpile, and then the workforce can be brought back to work as quick as possible, and the economy can be brought back on the track. So these are the 4 keywords which the CII is urging the government. And now we will focus at the question of the day for the mains examination, and this is, we will be focusing in regards to the environment, health. Look at it. The way we need to focus is, we have linked, or we would be linking 3 different issues or 3 different topics, that is environment, health and economy. And the civil servant aspirant has to get into the mode of not only just focusing on one topic, but linking or coordinating 2 or 3 topics. And there could be a possibility that UPSC will, and there is a possibility that UPSC will frame a question coordinating couple or 2 or 3 topics and framing the question. And we will now focus this kind of question which you can try to answer for enhancing your writing skills for the mains examination and scoring higher marks. And the question for the day is air pollution and its impact on health system, and that is Indian health system and Indian economy. And the need of the hour is to rapidly scale up renewable energy, to end fossil fuel emissions, and to boost sustainable transport systems. So you have 3 keywords here. One is renewable energy scaling up, and the other one is to end the fossil fuel emissions, and the third one is to boost the sustainable transport system. That means in the question itself there are 3 measures which the question is has been framed, the statement, and you need to answer that how important is it, or the need of the hour, to scale up the renewable energy, to boost the sustainable transport system like electric vehicles, and to end the fossil fuel emissions, so that we can understand the importance of air pollution and its impact on Indian health system and Indian economy. That is explained for the mains examination. So we are focused or linked environment with health and economy. Your answer should be linking these 3, and how air pollution and its impact on Indian health system and Indian economy. So I hope this session was informative, knowledgeable and helpful for mains and prelims perspective of UPSC. So I would say a very big thank you to all and good luck to you all, and then do maintain consistency, stick to your schedule and take care of your physical health and mental health. And do not forget to like the video, share the video and subscribe the AKS IAS Academy English Medium YouTube channel, and also have access to the website and Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy. And see you again tomorrow with the daily news analysis. And then till then, thank you, goodbye, and then take care.